Good morning, afternoon, or evening from whenever or wherever you are watching this video from. I am Jack Adamas back with my Premier League football predictions. Game Week 8, Episode 8. Let's get straight into it. We start Game Week 8 with the early kickoff on Saturday, which sees Nottingham Forest hosting Chelsea. New life under Ange Postecoglou at Nottingham Forest has had a disastrous start as he is winless in his first 7 matches with 2 draws and 5 losses in that time, which now means they have gone 9 games without a victory and things aren't getting any easier as they do host Chelsea coming into this one. Chelsea, though, they've had a mixed start to the season themselves. They've got 3 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses to their name in their first 7 matches. Although just before the international break, they did get a massive win as they did beat Liverpool at home. They do need to get better on the road, though, as they do only have 3 wins in their last 14 Premier League away matches. Chelsea have won 3 of the last 4 visits to the City ground, and Ange Postecoglou has lost all 4 of his previous meetings against Chelsea, so I think it will be another long afternoon for Nottingham Forest in this one, as I can see Chelsea winning here by a 2-0 scoreline. Moving on to the first of 5 3pm kickoffs on Saturday, we start at the MX Stadium as we have Brighton versus Newcastle. Brighton currently sit 11th in the table with 2 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses to their name so far this season, and they do need to start picking up some consistency if they are going to push for the European places this season, and they will be looking to do so here as they have only lost 1 of their last 11 Premier League home matches. Newcastle currently sit 12th in the Premier League and they have an identical record to Brighton. They will be looking not to become the first team since 1935-36 to draw their first 4 away matches of a Premier League season to a 0-0 scoreline. So they won't be looking to do that one in here as they'll be looking to get a victory. And in their last 2 games, they have scored 2 goals and conceded 0 in return. So I don't think that will happen here. Brighton have never lost a Premier League match at home to Newcastle in the previous 8 meetings between these two sides. A similar story will happen here, as I reckon this one will end in a draw, and for a 3rd video in a row, I'm predicting a Brighton scoreline to a 2-2 draw. Next up, we have Burnley at home to Leeds. I know it's early on in the season, but this will be considered the first 6-pointer in the relegation battle so far this season, as Burnley currently sit in the drop zone with 1 win to their name all season. However, that win did come against the other newly promoted side as they beat Sunderland earlier in the season at Turf Moor. Leeds do currently sit 3 places above Burnley and 4 points above them in the table. So even if they do taste defeat here, they will end this game week outside of the drop zone. Their form guide, though, does look like a set of traffic lights at the moment, though, with the win-lose-draw, win-lose-draw. But they do sit double points above Burnley, so they will end up trying to leave this game with all 3 points. Burnley did get the better of Leeds last season in the 2 games they played them with 1 win and 1 draw. However, there was only 1 goal scored in those 2 matches, so it goes to show you how close these 2 teams are in quality. I do think Burnley will get their 2nd win of the season here, as I can see this one ending at full time in a 2-1 home victory. Next up, we travel to Selhurst Park where we have Crystal Palace at home to Bournemouth. Crystal Palace's 19-game club record unbeaten streak did end just before the international break as they lost in injury time to Everton. But after this international break, they will be looking to get back on track as soon as possible. Will the international break help or hinder them? Only time will tell in this one. They do face surprise package Bournemouth so far this season, who currently sit 4th in the Premier League and are on a 6-game unbeaten run themselves after losing only on the opening day to Liverpool. And they will be looking to make history here, as if they do get the victory here, it will be their 100th Premier League win. And on top of that, Bournemouth are Palace's bogey team, as Crystal Palace haven't scored in the last 4 meetings between these 2 sides. I do think they'll score here, though. I reckon the honours will be shared here in a 1-1 draw. We then travel to Manchester where we have Man City at home to Everton. Man City come back from the international break and they look back to their old selves as they are on a 7-game unbeaten run in all competitions, which leaves them only 3 points behind the top spot Arsenal, and they will be looking to continue that form coming into this one. Everton will be the visitors here, and they don't have a good head-to-head record against Man City, as they are winless in the last 17 times these 2 teams have met. But Everton do look like a different team so far this season, and they are only 2 points behind Man City in the table. So if they do win here, they will end this game week above them in the league table. They will have to do it without Jack Grealish, though, as he won't be playing because of the loan agreement. Man City are top goal scorers in the calendar year of 2025, as they have scored 55 goals already this calendar year. I think they'll add 3 more to that tally come full time, as I can see them winning here in a 3-1 victory. And for the last 3 o'clock kickoff, we travel to the Stadium of Light as Sunderland host Wolves. When Sunderland returned to the Premier League, they was greeted with everybody expecting them to go straight back down, but they have exceeded everybody's expectations, and I know it's early on in the season, but they find themselves only 3 points off the Champions League spots. I did say at the beginning of this season they will turn the Stadium of Light into a fortress, which they have done, and if they win this game, it will be the first time they've got 10 or more points in their first 4 games of a top flight season since 1968. Wolves do find themselves bottom of the table, but after back-to-back draws, they finally find themselves with some points on the board this season. And if they do get a victory here, they could end this game week outside of the drop zone. The last time these two teams met was in 2018, and that ended in a 3-0 victory for Sunderland. I do think Sunderland will also get the victory this time round, but I think it'll be much more hard-fought this time, as I can see them winning here 2-1. And for the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday, we travel to Craven Cottage as we have the London derby between Fulham and Arsenal. Fulham come into this game off successive 3-1 defeats to Villa and Bournemouth. However, those both came on the road. They will be looking to change that round here, and they'll give themselves a good chance to do so, as they have won all 4 of their last home games in all competitions. Arsenal sit at the top of the table after 7 matches, and they've only lost 3 of their 27 Premier League games in the year 2025, and they have only lost 1 of their last 17 Premier League away matches, so there's no wonder why they are overwhelming favourites coming into this game. However, with all that being said, Arsenal have only won 1 of the last 4 head-to-heads between these two sides, so I am going against the grain here, and I think Fulham will edge out a victory here in a hard-fought 2-1 win. Moving on to Super Sunday, we start with a 2 p.m. kickoff between Tottenham and Aston Villa. Tottenham are flying high at the moment, and they sit third in the table as they are on a current run of 7 games unbeaten in all competitions, and they will be looking forward to this one as in their last 3 home games they've got 2 wins and 1 draw to their name. The international break couldn't have come at a worse time for Aston Villa, as they were on a 4-game winning streak, winning 2 games in the Premier League and 2 games in the Europa League. However, both those victories in the Premier League did come on home soil, as they have failed to win in their last 5 games domestically away from home. This fixture has not produced a draw in the last 23 head-to-heads between these two sides, a trend that will continue here, as I can see Tottenham getting the victory here in a 2-0 win. Moving on to game of the weekend, it is the 4:30 kickoff on Sunday, as we have the most 2 decorated teams in English football as we travel to Anfield, where we have Liverpool at home to Manchester United. The international break couldn't have come at a better time for Liverpool, as they suffered 3 defeats in a row for the first time under Arne Slot's reign. However, all 3 of those defeats did come on the road. They will be happy to be back at Anfield though, as they have only lost 2 of their last 53 league matches here. United have picked up a bit of form of late, as they have won 2 of their last 3 Premier League matches, which leaves them only 5 points behind Liverpool in the table. So if they do get a victory here, it will be a massive talking point of the season so far. Unfortunately for them though, they are on a current run of 8 league away matches without a win, which is their worst run away from home since 1989. Liverpool have only lost 1 of the last 14 head-to-heads between these two sides, and 9 of those have been on home soil. So if they do avoid defeat here, they'll only become the 2nd team in Premier League history to go 10 home games without a defeat against Manchester United, which I reckon they will do, as I reckon they'll come back here in impressive fashion as they win here in a 3-0 victory. And to round up game week 8, on Monday at 8 p.m, we have the London derby between West Ham and Brentford. West Ham have suffered defeat in their first 3 home league matches so far this season, but they do have that new manager bounce now, as Nuno has come in and now he has had time to bed into his new home, so I think this could be the turning point of their season. Brentford, on the contrast though, they have picked up all points so far this season on home soil. However, unfortunately for them, they have lost all 3 of their Premier League matches away from home, and even worse for them, they did take the lead in 2 of those 3 matches. I do think this will be a turning point in West Ham's season, as I can see them scoring around the half-hour mark and then scoring late to winning this one in a 2-0 victory. Thank you very much if you are still here at the end of my video. I really do appreciate the love and support I've been getting from you guys. Please do continue to like, share, follow, but most importantly, subscribe to that YouTube channel. Let's try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Have a good weekend, guys, and remember, if you don't shoot, you can't score. Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.